Welcome, everybody. It is Monday night, and this is Everything Titans podcast. It is the NGSC Sports Tennessee Titans podcast. We'll be bringing you every analysis, every stat, every recap, every week. Before we get started, I got a question.
He's going to pass it. Touchdown. Touchdown Titans. There are no flags on the field. Tennessee has pulled a miracle. And that's going to be picked off at the 24 by Myers for the touchdown.
Yeah, that's going to be a quick answer to an incredibly terrible, long question. Just continue to stay consistent and focus on improvement.
Yeah, boys and girls.
What up, what up, what up?
Why you stop the beat? That had me going by ready. I'm ready to talk some real Titans now. Shit.
Y'all like that intro out there? I know I ain't even got to ask y'all before we get started, of course. Please remember the website. The website is NGSCsports.com, where you catch all of your current content. If you log on to the website right now, we've been pretty stacked lately on content. Let's see here. First of all, let me bring in my co-host here. So let me repeat again. This is Everything Titans podcast. It is the Tennessee Titans NGSC Sports podcast. We'll be coming to you every week. We'll be coming every Monday night after the Sunday game. We'll be coming on Friday night after the Thursday night game, and on Tuesday after the Monday night game. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. And we'll be coming to you after the playoff games too. Okay, that's right. I just called it. We'll be coming to you after the playoff game. But before we start, of course, I am your host, Ralph Garcia, joined by my co-hosts. As a little guy, introduce to you the co-host of Everything Titans, my heart and soul, my little brother, Levon Fletcher Bradford. What's up, bro?
What's going on?
All right.
Tighten up. And I appreciate you throwing out that nice little acknowledgement to my Atlanta Braves, too. You know, Acuna, he out there beasting.
Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about that for a second before we start. Over here on the other side, let me tell you about this little motherfucker right over here. Another one that got on my last goddamn nerve, okay? There was a host of them, okay? My brother didn't come by himself. He brought a harem with him. He brought a crew with him. And this one over here, he got a mouth I wanted to slap the taste out of, man. I can't tell you how many times. But guess what happened? But guess what happened? I fell for his ass too. And I got blessed because God gave me a little cousin. Welcome to co-host of Everything Titans. Another piece of my heart and soul. My cousin. Cody. What's up, cuz?
Good. Well, Mosley, man, ready to get these Titans going, man.
Hold on. Before we do that, so I'm going to start with this. I arrived in Tennessee on August 19th, 1991. There were no pro sports teams here. This was a Vol nation. This was doors to the floor. Although I will say real quick, I went to a Vanderbilt Commodores game somewhere in October of 1991. And I'm sitting around, and I'm looking at everybody because they like hanging out. They're not paying no mind to the game. Of course, Vanderbilt was down by like 35 in the second quarter. I'm kind of just looking around. I finally asked dude, I was like, hey, and nobody gets in the game? He's like, you're not from here, are you? I was like, nah, I just moved here a few months ago. Why? We don't come here for the game. Oh, you don't come here for the game? What do you mean you don't come here for the game? We don't come here for the game. We come to hang out. You know, we're alumni and, we support the Commodores, but they suck. You'll find that out. Man, did they suck. Then, of course, we got the news. The Houston Oilers would be relocating. They would become the Tennessee Titans. 1999 brought us the greatest memories we could ever have as a Tennessee Titans. Steve McNair, Eddie George, Blaine Bishop. I can name some others, and what a run that was. But that's the thing about football. It's a game of runs. You win, you lose, ups and downs. You have good seasons, you have bad seasons. And there's been a couple of good seasons, but nothing like 99 in the early 2000s when McNair, George, and the team was dominating. We did have a little bit of fun with Chris Johnson. But the thing about the Tennessee Titans, they've been unable to put together that entire crew. The entire crew, meaning what do you need? You need a quarterback. You need a running back. You need a wide receiver. Of course, you need 2 wide receivers. You need 3 wide receivers. You need 2 running back. But you got to have that core. Your star quarterback, your star running back, your star wide receiver. Mike Vrabel, of course, made a name for himself as a linebacker for the New England Patriots. 5 years ago, I believe it was, he gets hired as the Tennessee Titans head coach. And he's done well. He's done well. So Ryan Tannehill came over from Tennessee to the Tennessee Titans from the Miami Dolphins. There were some questions about whether Tannehill was a top flight quarterback. Show glimpses in Miami, but let's give him his pass, meaning he's never had the cast of characters assembled. The king. Tennessee Titans get lucky in the second round. They draft Derrick Henry several years ago, and everybody knows who the king is. I don't care where you go in the land of football, you know who the king is. King got hurt, came back from an injury. The Titans had an off season, but here we are. It's a 2023 season, and the guys and I were talking the other day, last week on the phone, guys. We were talking about this Tennessee Titan team, Zoe, and the fact that now I told Hudge while we were on the phone, we didn't have Cody on at the time, that Ryan Tannehill now no longer has any excuse. He's got Derrick Henry in the backfield. DeAndre Hopkins comes over to the Tennessee Titans, a bona fide number 1 wide receiver. Treylon Burks, and I've been giving Treylon Burks hell, but Treylon Burks, who came to replace A.J. Brown, now gets a chance to be the bona fide number 2. We know what the Tennessee Titans defense was last year. Zoe, bring it to me when it comes to now having Tannehill, having Derrick Henry, having DeAndre Hopkins, and Treylon Burks as the cogs that run your offense.
Like you said at first, when it comes to Treylon Burks, he got to stay on the healthy. He got to stay healthy. He got to stay on the field. He seems to keep having a little ding up. We got lucky this last time with this last injury. That looked like it could have been a whole lot worse than what it ended up being. But we got lucky. It was just an LCL sprain. He's already back in practice. Looks like he's good. Looks like there's good potential for him to be go for game 1. So having him along with DeAndre Hopkins, it puts him in his right spot. D-Hop, we've seen it in practice. I feel like that to me, it looks like he's going to be every bit of DeAndre Hopkins as we are used to seeing. And then you take those 2, you have now Tannehill finally has a couple of receivers that at least we believe 2 that can get the fuck open, like that can shake somebody the fuck off of him. I mean, last year he was out there throwing and they're blanketed. He ain't got much time. We got Dennis Turnstile Daly out there at left tackle, just letting everybody get to him. At very least, the offensive line looks like it could be at least better. Than can't get any fucking worse than it was last year. So all this should have opened up more holes for Derrick Henry to do what Derrick Henry does. Get his yards per game, yards per carry average back up, because it took a significant drop when Todd Downing took off. We'll talk about them stats a little bit later. Dean, I know me and you done had some serious in-depth conversations, getting frustrated talking about this discussion. So what do you think about that with the
I was gonna say, yo, Dean, let me in on some of that conversation y'all had.
It's not that we would say that we're having, a deep discussion. We're just, end ourselves up on different ends of the spectrum. and my end of the spectrum really has Tannehill getting pushed off, hopefully. Because, I mean, one thing that I really just can't trust with Tannehill is him in the moment. Once we get into a situation where it's do or die, and you all know, you know what I mean, the Titans, we will go on the run. Tannehill is good enough for that. But as soon as we get on the national stage, as soon as we're able to, you know, turn that corner to really make some change in the AFC, except for a couple years back when we did make the #1 seed. But even in those instances, once it's time to get on the big stage, Tannehill folds like a trapper keeper. And there's no way that we're going to be able to even with, and DeAndre Hopkins, he is the wide receiver that is basically salt and pepper in the league. He works with anything. So I can't wait to see actually what he can do. But if he has to get too many reps for Tannehill to be able to do it, then we're going to take away from Burks. We're going to take away from Henry. We need to be able to find that balance. And it's hard to find that balance when you're worried about Tannehill making the right throws.
Cousin Mike Walker in the house. What's up, cousin Mike? Mike, much love. That's Dean's brother, cousin Mike Walker in the house. Anybody, of course, y'all watching, we do appreciate you joining us tonight. You got some comments. Throw the comments, man. I'm over here. I'm looking for the comments at all time. Anything you want to talk about. You agree with something, you agree with something. You would disagree with something, bring it. We ain't here to blast nobody. We're here to talk. We're here to talk shit. We're here to go back and forth, all kinds of opinions. We trying to build this. Share it out. Let everybody know everything Titan podcast is on. We're talking all Tennessee Titans. So one of the things, and we did talk about that. Matter of fact, let me get real quick, Zoe, with you on the defense. Okay, so one of the things that we talked about last week on the phone was how comfortable we are with the defense that finished the season last year. The defense that's coming back that adds the likes of Harold Landry back. Harold Landry, of course, coming from Boston College. I mean, he has just been almost lights out for the Titans, got hurt. He comes back. We hope that he's coming back, bringing the same thunder that he brought in that spectacular year he had 2 years ago. So talk to me about the defense and what you're looking at.
Well, when it comes to the defense, I'm looking for Harold Landry to have an impact. Like just you ended with him, start with him. Just not having him there on that defense last year made everything look different. I mean, you got Big Jeff. He's drawing double teams. You had some decent pass rush on the other side, but there was no consistent player. I mean, when you look at what Harold Landry was doing before he got injured for us, we're talking about 90% of the snaps on defense. He doesn't come off the field. He's out there on run downs. He's out there on pass downs. You need him to drop back in coverage. He can do that. Like, he's a big piece to have back. He covered up a lot of holes that we had in our defense. And those got exposed last year. Without the pass rush, the secondary got exposed. Christian Fulton couldn't stay healthy. You know, he was one of Vrabel's habitual offenders of the soft tissue injuries. We had Elijah Molden out there. He couldn't stay healthy. He kind of depended on him. Christian McCreary was really kind of like outside Jeffrey Simmons. He may have been the best player. Maybe Jeffrey Simmons, Danico Autry, but McCreary was probably our best player, especially outside the front seven, all season long last year. That's kind of the situation that we were in. So
whoa. You said he was the best player out of the front seven?
Outside of the front seven, McCreary was probably the best player we had on defense last year.
Outside.
I mean, KB.
Nobody's been outside the best player besides Bayard outside of the front seven for several years now. I was gonna say
KB had a good season.
There's not a best player outside the front seven.
Please don't come for me, KB. Please.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Please don't come for me, KB. Please. I'm sorry.
Hey,
I know that.
Hold on, Zoe. Hey, Zoe. That's some apple juice you drinking, bro?
Oh, no. We on my regular Crown. Nice little glass of Crown.
Apple juice. Okay. Cool. No. But when you said McCreary, I ain't gonna lie. When you said McCreary, D, I did think for a second.
Wait a minute.
Did we miss five?
when you talk about Byard, sometimes we take Byard for granted because he's
disrespected
consistent.
player in the NFL, man.
Yeah.
And I was one when he
No
signed.
disrespect to Kevin Byard, but outside of Kevin Byard in that secondary was McCreary.
Yes, please and thank you. And then you know who they say you know who's been shining over here in practice. I think we're going to get a rude awakening of Amani Hooker. This is why Tannehill frustrates me so much, because I just know that dealing with Vrabel and his schemes and everything, I know the defense is going to be solid, and I'm predicting beyond solid. I'm talking about top 8, top 5 type of.
Yep.
Hooker and Byard covering both back ends, and they both going to be swapping, stepping up, covering the run game. The addition of Azeez Al-Shaair, our new middle linebacker, and I love me some David Long. But Shahir came out of San Francisco over there behind Fred Warner. He just couldn't get any playing time. But he's always been projected to be a top-tier linebacker. Now he's going to get to actually prove it dealing with the Tennessee Titans. So you deal with that, and I think Jeffrey Simmons is actually going to have his real breakout year. I know he broke out to us just because we seen it. He's not mentioned when they talk about the top defensive line. He is not mentioned. You can't name me one national analyst that is mentioning Jeffrey Simmons as the top defensive line. It's blasphemy to me too, but I think this year he's going to force.
No. I like what Dean's saying. I like what Dean's saying, because in that season that here in Tennessee you might look at as Jeffrey Simmons' breakout season, it was not so much a breakout season as much that he was basically forced to do this. He had no choice but to do this. I mean, he didn't have the kind of help. The Titans weren't healthy enough for him all season long, where he was just forced to show out. What makes a defense so good in the NFL? Yes, individual talent is beautiful. When you're one of the best linemen, one of the best linebackers, one of the best corners, that's cool. But it's a unit. That's the thing about the defense. When you got the unit that's healthy, and then you got a couple of key players in there, and then you got a big horse like Simmons, and Simmons can then look around and tell himself, yeah, I got some horses with me. Now I can play some football. Hey, Dean, man, what's your thoughts on Christian Fulton?
Just like taking a ride to Kentucky Kingdom. He's a complete roller coaster. The only thing he's gonna do, 1 minute. I look, he's consistent, but I just don't like it. It seems at the times when he does take chances, it's always not the smartest play. Like he doesn't take calculated risk. It just seems he's gonna play it very vanilla and just stay behind the defense. He'll be there if you make a mistake. He's very I guess what's the word? He's very situational when it comes to the ball, and trying to get at the ball. But I don't try, you can't leave him on the island, and that puts a lot more pressure on Hooker and Byard. But as I said, with one of them over the top, and I said the addition of Al-Shaair, because Al-Shaair could cover too as a middle linebacker. I think we're gonna surprise some folks if we can get the pass rush to going. They're not going to have a lot of time to put the ball in the air to even bother Fulton or the other corner.
Man, wouldn't that be sweet? Wouldn't that be sweet?
I think we're going to be top tier defense this year, for real.
I'm gonna have to shut people up here. I gotta mute one of my hold on, I gotta mute these notifications, because now, damn it, all of a sudden, man, my political show want to start throwing out all kinds of shit. Come on, y'all, I ain't got time for this shit right now. I'm doing a show. Joe, here's the thing. We talking about the Tennessee Titans front, about the Tennessee Titans defense, okay? And we got Autry and Torton and Simmons and Key out here. We talked about Harold Landry and McCreary and Byard and Hooker and Fulton, but there's been some new names as far as on the depth chart, second and third on the depth chart. Any of these guys stand out to you?
Are we talking about front part? Front seven?
I'm talking about the defense in general.
in front seven, I like that we was able to retain Caleb Murphy. He showed some real true pass rush ability. I like
Yeah,
him.
nice preseason, man.
Yeah. That one was like 5 sacks or something like that. I feel
Nice.
like he's the type of player like there was somebody in training camp last year that seemed to demonstrate that type of ability, and somehow he didn't make the roster. I think he ended up going to somebody else's team. I can't think of his name right now, but Caleb Murphy kind of came on like this. But I think he was like more consistent with his pass rush and his showing up every game and showing up every practice. So that's one player. When you talk about depth, one thing that concerns me the most is the middle linebacker position outside of Azeez Al-Shaair, because Gibby, Jack Gibbons, he's smart player, instinctive, but outside of first down, I think he's freaking useless, because you run at him with anybody athletic, he's gonna be a liability. Yeah, sure, in the first down run game, yeah, he's probably gonna be good. He can probably get sideline to sideline fairly well. But if he has to drop back in coverage and guard anybody, he's gonna be a liability. I think that I like the way we've stacked our front seven with the depth. The new guy we brought in, Travis. Oh man,
Travis Gibson. Yes,
yeah. Travis Gibson. That new guy we brought in. I liked the footage that I saw him from, I guess, a couple years ago before they changed. They was in a 3-4 defense, and he had like 7 sacks. Was it 2021? And then Matt Eberflus or whatever his name is came in and changed up that defense. And when they went to a 4-3, they didn't really know how to utilize him. Go ahead.
No, you're making me do this. You're making me do this, and I could have waited patiently for you to get finished, but then I would honestly just steal your shine. No, Ralph, he's not. He's talking like you're like, you know what I mean, because you're here. If you don't tell these people about Arden Key, please. You the one that presented Arden Key to me and told me to be on the lookout for Mr. Vocal himself. Can you please tell them about Arden Key?
The question, if you pay attention to the conversation that's going on, the question was about depth. Arden Key is a fucking starter. He's gonna be a beast on the opposite side of
No, Dean. I was asking about the
backup. He asked about depth.
But you know what? After y'all tell me about the backup, tell me about Arden Key.
Yeah, you tell us about Arden Key since you
tell me about Arden Key, Dean.
Everything that I looked up, they've been raving about him in camp. They talking about he has one of the hardest motors that you've ever seen. All he does is talk. All he does is motivate. All he does is try to get people in position, and all he does is try to make plays. He will be on the outside linebacker that's supposed to move him around on both sides, but he is still supposed to be like spelling Landry and Weaver. Like he's gonna catch up with them on those outside edges and everything. Yeah, so he's still kind of spelling them in a sense, but of course he's gonna get a significant amount of playing.
He's not spelling. He is starting. Weaver.
That's how he started camp. That's how he started camp.
They changed that quickly. Because in practice they couldn't stop him. Well, like the whole, like it's so crazy. Like 'cause the whole training camp, Arden Key made Andre Dillard look so bad time and time again throughout training camp that everybody began to worry like, whoa, man, we done paid all this money for this left tackle, Andre Dillard out of Philadelphia, and he looks like Dennis Daly out there. He can't do anything. But you put him up against some different competition, he started doing a lot better. Because he wasn't going against Arden Key. Arden Key is too much for him. So we know now that against the elite pass rushers, which Arden Key has elite pass rusher ability, whether or not he can put it together for a full season and be consistent game after game after game, that's the question with Arden Key. But is he going to start? Yes. He's going to be opposite side of Harold Landry. He's going to be pick your poison all season long. It's going to be, wait a minute, do I sit a double at Landry? Oh, wait a minute, Key coming. Do I sit a double over here? Oh, crap. Big Jeff coming up the middle. Wait a minute. Can I double? How many people kind of double at one time? I mean, oh shit, here comes Danico Autry. Like, it's like, oh, Thierry Tart, oh, he's a fucking problem. Oh, it's like, oh man, I ain't got no time. Secondary gonna look good. You see her talking about Christian Fulton. Yeah, he's up and down, but what I've seen out of Christian Fulton so far this year, and so far this training camp, is he has. It looks like he may be ready to take it to a next level. Like, because there was a point in like Christian Fulton's second year where Christian Fulton was being thought of as a potential lockdown type corner, and then he started having lingering nagging injuries. And
I don't remember those.
Yeah, that conversation has been. Hey, go look at Christian Fulton's second season. You check out his PFF grade. You check out his pass breakups. He had in his second season 4 quarterbacks that didn't throw it.
Christian Fulton is a better cornerback than Murphy Bunting.
When he's healthy and he's on his game, yes.
They're both healthy. Who you going? Who you paying? Who you want first?
Give me Christian Fulton.
You putting
Fulton?
Fulton?
Give me Christian Fulton.
I like Bunting got the number change. He looked revived. He looked fresh. I think Murphy Bunting is gonna have him a better year than he's had. I know he's not been a name splash, but that's one thing about it. You don't hear about Murphy Bunting. You hear about Christian Fulton all the time.
You heard about Murphy Bunting last year. We got hurt a couple of times in Tampa.
That's what I'm saying. Murphy Bunting he's gonna be ready this year.
Yeah, okay. He's also still capable of
he's ready to come down here. Yeah, he looked light, he looked ready, man. He looked fast out there. He looked good in preseason. Murphy Bunting is gonna be ready. I'm hoping that he is stepped up to where we can move Christian Fulton to a 2. I'm just under the impression Fulton would never be more than a 2 in this league. And if we're really walking into Kansas City or Philadelphia, we're walking into Buffalo with him on Diggs, him on Tyreek Hill. I think that's a recipe for disaster.
When the training camp, when the practices happened against the Minnesota Vikings, and they were in practice on the 1-on-1s, on the team periods, 7-on-7, time and time again, it was Christian Fulton guarding Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson, arguably, I ain't gonna say fucking arguably, because if you ask me, he's really the best fucking wide receiver in the league. But some people got infatuated with Jamar Chase, and you got your Devontae Adams lovers. But for my money, Justin Jefferson is the best receiver in football right now. And Christian Fulton gave him fits for 2 days in training camp. He gave him fits. Yes, did he get Christian Fulton every now and then? Yes, but Christian Fulton made a lot of big plays on him. I know it's just training camp, but when you're talking about training camp, between 2 different teams after you've been beating on your own teammates all season long, that there's a level of intensity that kicks up in that. They wasn't going easy on each other. They were battling at it. That type of consistency that he's shown all throughout training camp, that type of consistency usually transfers over into a game. And when you think about it, when you think about it,
when the lights come on, that make it different. He's been under the
but Christian Fulton
went up under the lights with Brady. He's been
Christian
under the
Fulton was playing bad. He was playing bad in practice too. One thing about Mike Vrabel teams, typically, if you're playing good in practice, that shit carries over to the practice field. If you're not playing good in practice, that not playing good in practice tends to carry over to the practice field. It's a consistent theme I've noticed with Mike Vrabel the whole time we've been coaching.
I got to interject here with old. I'm going old school here, okay? And I'm directing this at you, Zoe, because I hear you talking about training camp and practice, and you remember one of the greatest athletes we've ever seen.
All right, Alan.
Right. We talk about practice now. We talk about training camp. I mean, I like Cody said, I want to see him under lights. I want to see him when it's time to get on the field. I want to see him week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, not preseason, week 1, week 2, week.
About what you want in a quarterback, Ryan Tannehill checks every box.
Every box.
What are you gonna do with the right?
Until right, and we've seen
He
it.
don't check every box.
Who? Ryan
Tannehill don't
Tannehill.
check every box.
He has accuracy. He's big.
He has
moves.
accuracy.
He checks every box.
He has an arm.
Right.
Yeah.
What box?
He
What
just
box
have
you don't check?
accuracy.
What box you don't check, Joe?
He has decent pocket presence.
He checks every box that you want as far as if you were building a quarterback and you were just like, I want above average everything.
Okay.
Tannehill
You know what
checks above
the box he doesn't check, which is the problem. It's spelled with the I, and the next letter is a T. And we're not talking about fucking information technology. He does not have it. It. There is a factor, it's called it. There's a box. There's
Right.
I'm telling you. But it is
No, hold on. Joe, you're right. You're right. But that's just it. When you build a quarterback, the boxes you check, it is not one of those boxes. You're right in what you're saying.
It ain't in
there. Where Cody's going, where I'm going is he checks all the boxes, but then I'm gonna go where you at. But when it comes prime time, and we've seen it, he's let us down too many times that he doesn't have it when it's time to have it. Exactly. And that's been big down.
Yes, I hear you. But the it goes so much deeper. Yes, he has the faith of the locker room. They believe in Tannehill to a decent degree. Yes, he's a good leader in the locker room. Yes, but he is not. He doesn't have when Tannehill walks into the room. He don't have that presence about him that says that, oh man, this motherfucker, something changed in the room when he walked in. When you got the it, you have that. When Patrick Mahomes walks into his locker room,
don't talk about it. It makes me sad. It makes me sad. Just talking about Tanny, I gotta get my head together. It makes me sad.
But anyway,
Okay, here we go. Here's where I'm going. So we covered the defense. We like what we see in the defense. It's going to be a matter of, for me to summarize the defense from me, what is Murphy Button going to bring? What's he going to bring? That's what I want to look at. Kristen Fulton, again.
So,
is this the year that Fulton finally is going to be healthy and an NFL cornerback? Y'all talked about Arden Key as well. We'll see what that brings. I would love to see if Caleb Murphy can move up the depth chart to a number 2. I literally love what I saw in the preseason from him, because for me, it more than talent. When you got that motor and that determination, like he showed, man, that's what's gonna motivate the rest of the guys around him. But now we're gonna move to the offense.
Hold on.
Hold on.
One last thing. So when it came to Sean Murphy Bunting, when they brought him in, I was on board with Sean Murphy Bunting. Dean, I'm the one who told you about Sean Murphy Bunting in the first place. Sean Murphy Bunting,
okay.
I thought he was gonna be our number 1 corner. I still think that he's gonna be a really good corner. But my thought all along was that if he's our number 1 corner, our cornerbacks aren't going to be that great. He's going to be a good number 1 corner. He'd be good number 1, but he can't stop everybody. He's not a lockdown guy. He's going to be good. He's going to be in position. He's going to make plays. But he's not a lockdown guy. He's not going to scare the other. What's the name? He's not going to scare the quarterback. He's not going to scare the quarterback from throwing that direction.
I think you just need to come to terms with that. Our cornerbacks are not going to be something.
Hold on, but that's what I'm saying. I've seen. I don't know how y'all don't. You're like, I don't know. I remember what history y'all remember watching of Christian Fulton. In his second year, Christian Fulton was a top-notch, top 25 cornerback in the league. Easy. And he was well on his way. And then that very next season, he took a step back. I believe that was last season. What is Christian Fulton's fourth year?
Fourth year.
If what I've seen up until what I had seen out of Christian Fulton in camp, especially when he was matching up with started matching up with D-Hop every day. He was matching up with Justin Jefferson in that practice. When those practices, when I seen the consistency and no tweaks, no hamstring anything. He's out there every single day. You remember last year, Christian Fulton practice a half a day. Oh man, I pulled something. Oh, he was dinged up all the time. So Christian Fulton has a potential. I'm making a forward projection. Christian Fulton's gonna be our best corner this year.
His mama don't think he a top 25 corner in the NFL. Will you stop it? Nobody in that world ever thought that under no circumstances, man. That's why we had to bring in Murphy Button.
My only argument, but
we're not talking about last year. We're talking about the year before.
All right. And I'm glad you brought that up, because that's my only argument.
He ain't been a top.
That's my only argument against that is, okay, 2 years ago he showed. Last year he didn't. In other words, for me, I haven't seen enough consistency from Fulton to have the confidence that we were supposed to have in him. What he was as far as expectations from Christian Fulton. That's all. That's where I'm at with Fulton.
I'm making a projection. Is what I'm making. I'm making a projection.
That's good.
It's not. I'm not the evidence of there is some points there. There's also many points against. But I'm making a projection based off of what I've seen and been paying attention to and listening to the coaches and then watching the footage that I've seen myself. That's why I'm making a projection.
Let's make sure
that's what this show is about. It's a preview show.
On next Monday's show,
we can recap. I'm gonna make sure I go back and watch every single Christian Fulton step. I'm gonna break it down for y'all.
No, you in it. You almost, but you stepped in it with 1 foot. Then we said look out, and then you just go jump all in it.
Next week's show. We will highlight Christian Fulton.
All right, there it is. We talk next week. Hey, remember, Ralph, that'll be top 3 topics. Remember, we coming with that first 15 minutes.
I'm gonna leave it in. I'm gonna leave it in right now. We're gonna talk about Christian Fulton, and then I'm gonna say, Joe.
Yeah, and I eat crow though. So yeah, I mean, I'll eat some crow. I'll eat crow.
As long as it ain't fried, because I don't eat fried food no more.
We're going to the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah. Now here's where I'm going real quick on offense. I'm going to the confusion. By the way, so everybody's aware, as the season goes on and we are recapping the games, we came up with a format that we're going to be using for the show. We'll be doing, instead of an agenda, because you don't need an agenda when you're talking about one team, we'll be talking the good, the bad, and the ugly. So look forward to that, as we'll always start with the good. We'll go to the bad. We'll finish with the ugly. So I'm looking forward to that. And see, hey, we got to think of a scorecard and see who leads the league, who leads the season in bad and ugly. So that's what I'm curious about. All right. Here's the issue I got. Y'all need to help me with this, because I got a problem with this. How is Malik Willis, Cody? How is Malik Willis not the number 2 quarterback? How is he not the number 2 quarterback? What am I missing?
It's Ralph, you just got to understand at times. Now me and Zoe go at it about this now, because I'm like, for real, we've been at it about this. And it's not necessarily that he hasn't shown something, he just hasn't shown special. And dealing with the quarterback position, if you're going to make a turn or you're going to try to turn the corner in another direction, you either, like Ryan Tannehill shows you more than just something, as we just talked about. He checks all the boxes as far as what you need. It's just in those crucial situations, he's not being able to come through. But you've seen him do it. I remember that 68, 90-yard pass to A.J. Brown. He put that thing on the money with somebody hitting him in his face. But Malik Willis has just not shown special.
Okay.
And with being given the chance, with being given the opportunity, if he can't show us special, there's no need for us to really give him the keys to the franchise. That's why they went to Levis. And I think Levis has flashed special. Flashed. So, see, don't do your face like that. So I said flashed.
Yeah, but here's where I'm confused though. I feel you on the special part. What I'm asking is the competition for the number 2 spot, Joe, is between Malik Willis and Will Levis. Now look, y'all have, I'll admit it, they've been following their team a whole lot more closer than me, although I follow them very closely. So Zoe, I'm gonna say this professionally, and I'm gonna say this respectfully, okay? I'm gonna ask you a question. Could you please explain to me what the fuck Will Levis has done to be in a tie with Malik Willis for the number 2 spot? Because I'm confused. I must have missed something because I seen Levis in college, but
go ahead, so he throw you the alley-oop. Go ahead. He can't wait to
this ain't the University of Kentucky. So what I miss here? There's no number 2. Why?
I'm gonna put this as delicately as I can when it comes to Will Levis.
All right, this ain't a delicate show though.
Yeah, but we have a delicate audience, and we don't want to piss anybody off.
I do.
I know you do. And I typically don't mind.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that he's getting a pass on some of his experience that he had with, was it Liam Cohen, the offensive coordinator that was there from, I guess he was from the Rams, I guess, that coached him in his really, really good season at Kentucky. Not last year, season before that. And then last year, he really fell off. And when you talk about Will Levis, what I've seen and what you saw from him at Kentucky is he struggles with his pocket presence. He struggles navigating the pocket, moving up and in and out of the pocket like he's supposed to. When there are inexplicable accuracy throws, bad accuracy throws that where he guns it in there, he needs to put a touch pass. He has to think about that. He has great arm strength, but I think his arm talent, those two different things to me. Arm strength, arm talent. Arm talent is the type of throws you can make. His arm talent needs some work. He has arm strength. And so when you get in clutch situations, he did this time and time again. The bad interception. What did you see in the preseason game? You saw some bad pocket management. Some bad pocket management that led to some sacks. You saw some bad footwork at times. You saw some bad footwork at times that led to some bad throws. You saw errant pass. You saw some errant passes, and you saw crucial moment when he had a chance to win the game. He throws an egregious interception. That's the same thing you saw from Will Levis last year at Kentucky. But because he's playing this pro style system and he's of a particularly variety of quarterback, he gets more of a pass. Obviously, Malik, they knew he was a project coming in. It was never supposed to be where Will Levis came in at now. It's supposed to be further along than where Malik was at last year. Because Will Levis came from Kentucky playing against SEC competition, playing under he has this great experience playing in the NFL pro system. What's the name? Malik came from Liberty with Hugh Freeze, one of the most trashiest of I don't give a fuck ass coaches about your player development. All I want to do is win my game. What can you do to win my game? Malik, get out there. If the first person ain't open, run around, do something, make plays. Go put. I need to win this game. I'm not finna teach you how. I ain't got time to teach you how to play.
Is that what they told him? Even last year, Vrabel bitched him at the first game because he didn't let the ball go. Now, I just want you.
But exactly. That's the point.
Thing about Will Levis that does not apply to Malik Willis. What you just say about Will Levis that does not apply to Malik Willis?
He played in the pro style offense, man.
Pro style offense in the competition he played against.
Malik played in the pro style offense last year when they had to bench him for Joshua Dobbs.
Yeah, but he wasn't ready.
He wasn't ready. That's the point. That's the point.
Right.
Like Malik, you mean like you sound like everybody else out there. That this guy came from Liberty. Oh, he won the backup job. Hey, everybody told you he was gonna be a project. He goes out there and does exactly what people expected, what should have been expected of him. Not be that good because he's never played in a pro style system or had any real pro coaching or coaching really on being a good quarterback, footwork, all the stuff that he had to deal with last year. Now you take. The question at hand is, what has Will Levis done? What has Will Levis done? Let me tell you what Malik has done. Malik took it in stride. Dobbs replaced me last year. What can I do? They got Tim Keller. They brought in Charles London. He went and sought out the information. He went and sought out criticism. And he went and worked on his game. And this dude looks like a complete head and shoulders different quarterback from what he did last year. Like I would argue to say that not only is Malik considering his projections, considering
What?
What about this guy? How he look different though? What happened? What are you talking about? How he look different though? What look different though?
No, Willis made
his pocket presence.
Willis made
Levis getting sacked and talking about his pocket presence. That game that Levis played after they took out the first team offensive line, as a total, the Titans gave up 9 sacks after the offensive line went out. Malik Willis was getting his head clumped up too. They both, I think it was like 4 to 5. I don't know who had 4 or 5, but both of them was getting sacked when they played.
Hold on. Let me get to my point though. When you take a look at what the expectation was when they drafted Malik Willis and how long his development and growth was going to take, I would say that not only has he caught up, he has surpassed a little bit of that. Now the thing is, what do you want from a quarter? What do you want from any player that you put on the field?
Question: why is Malik Willis battling for the second string? Because they don't trust him. That's why they picked Levis up in the second round.
Yeah. But hold on.
They invested in him. He gonna be the number 2. Tannehill bust ankle next week. Levis is coming in, fellas. Y'all got to be there. Y'all got to support. Y'all are Titan fans. Don't y'all do that?
I'm not gonna not support Levis.
We're gonna support him, but not. Hold on. Well, I've been following football since the 1960s. Okay, even as a little kid, and from what I understand about football at every level, by the way, you have a starting quarterback, you have a second string quarterback, and in college and the pros, you got a third string quarterback. Everybody earns their spot. In Tennessee for the Titans, Ryan Tannehill is a starting quarterback. No question about that. Then you have Malik Willis, because y'all just went through this whole, especially you, went through this. It was that was a whole lot. I'm
not even done.
That was a short story. The question is a simple question. How is it after the preseason we watch Malik Willis have? How is it that Will Levis is still in consideration for number 2? I don't see it. I watched what Willis did. And I ain't talking about what they did in Liberty and in Kentucky, okay? I watched what Willis did. I watched what Levis did. Dean first.
I think you're actually right about that. We went into discussion about who's the better quarterback, and that was completely
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit.
But I don't even think that's really a thing. I just think Vrabel, and this is something that Vrabel does. I think it's just a matter of Malik is going to have to play himself out of the second string. Like if something happened, Malik is coming in first. I think that's it. I think we know that. I don't think that's really up for debate. But the fact that they're leaving it open for discussion is just Vrabel doing his mental mind tricks, trying to keep everybody on the toe.
That don't help Malik Willis's mind. That don't help Malik Willis. He worked his ass off this offseason to learn the offense, to look as so much better this preseason. And so now he's sitting here saying, damn, I did all this work. And dude is tied with me for nothing. I ain't even got them two snaps.
He should be used to looking over his shoulder, cuz I'm talking about when they benched him for Josh Dobbs last year, and then we picked up Levis in April. He should have been. I'm talking about his neck. I don't even know how he sees straight. He should be looking over his shoulder.
Tell me. I got a question for you. For you. Why don't you explain to me why Josh Dobbs was better and looked better than Malik did when they brought him in after only 8 days of practice with the team? Why did Josh Dobbs look better? I want to hear your answer to that question.
Yeah, so do I. That's a good
question. I have been an advocate that they should have let Malik Willis continue out the season. I have been an advocate that we shouldn't be paying Tannehill and run with the young boys. So if one of them you pick is one or two, I go with that before I go with the situation that we've currently created. I have advocated that Malik Willis is not bad enough to be thrown out. But I'm telling you, I understand that he's not showing me he's good enough to be thrown in.
The question stands. The question stands.
Why
was Josh Dobbs? Ralph, you take it. Why was Josh Dobbs?
I didn't think he looked better. The answer was I didn't think he looked much better. I thought they went very vanilla. And if you would have,
why did they make the decision then? Why did they make the decision
on Josh Dobbs? Okay, first of all, remember the Tennessee Titans found themselves with put in that situation, asking themselves a question: what are we going to do? Are we going to run with Willis throughout the season and into the playoffs, or are we going to run and get somebody who's available? Okay, let's go get Josh Dobbs. Why was Josh Dobbs chosen? Not just chosen, but literally Willis was just thrown to the side for Josh Dobbs. Because be he a backup and never more than a backup, Josh Dobbs have been there and done it before. He has been an NFL quarterback with six different teams with the Titans.
Over 5 years.
5 times, right? But 5 times over 5 years.
5 years.
He has been there and done that. He knows the NFL. Let me tell y'all what I be saying on all my shows, and I'm gonna do football. As a scout, the job that I did for 8 years as a high school football scout, one of the things that I would tell parents is this was to the kids that weren't the surefire hits, wasn't, D1, I'm gonna make it. Kids didn't have confidence. So you give them confidence. And then I tell the parents, here's the key to your son. Your son plays on Friday now. His job, your job, and the coach's job is to get him prepared to play on Saturday, because Saturday football is not Friday football. And then if he's lucky and he's blessed, he'll get to play on Sunday. And Sunday football ain't Saturday football. Josh Dobbs got the job, kept the job, and got the confidence of the Tennessee Titans because he played plenty of Sunday football. Malik Willis didn't know what the hell Sunday football was. And when he got put front and center, under center, on Sunday football, he wasn't no better than deer in motherfucking headlights. That's why Josh Dobbs got the job.
And that's the point. That's the point, is the value of actually being in the quarterback room, being on the team, seeing the process of of what it takes to be an NFL quarterback, with everything that goes into that, and being able to do that with multiple teams, multiple offensive coordinators over 5 years. Plus, you got to add in the fact that Josh Dobbs is a fucking rocket engineer genius type mind. That's why they brought him in. Malik, every time they talk to Malik this off season throughout training camp, they keep asking him, what's different? Why are you so much? And then the same thing comes back. Repetition. Last year was the first time I called a play under the huddle, play in the huddle in my entire career. Last year was the first time I took a snap under the center. Last year was the first time I did this. Just repetition and being in it. Oh, now you get comfortable. Now I know what to expect. Like, and then he made this jump. Like any player, there's one point I want to make before we move on. Any player that's what a football coach wants. Can you make adjustments? Can you learn? Can you be coachable? Can you make a leap from 1 year to the next? Can you like if you look at Josh Allen when he came in, they were talking about Josh Allen might not even be a fucking NFL quarterback. The nigga was trash out there. He was trash out there. And then but he made progress. He proved that he could develop. Don't you want to play
not trash?
For the most part, yeah.
He's trash.
But he
we had to play.
He was the best piece of trash.
He was experienced trash. He was experienced trash.
Yeah.
Experienced trash is gonna play better than
I just love it. Did you say don't say that? Like, what else you can go with? That's fine. Experience. That's what I'm saying.
That's what it was.
I think it ultimately boils down to the Tennessee Titans. Vrabel hasn't been named a starter of a backup in this competition, this quarterback competition, simply because he's actually trying to give Will Levis a chance, probably at the behest of Rand Carthon, because Rand Carthon, that's his quarterback. That he came in, new GM.
He got the higher ceiling, cuz Levis has the higher ceiling, y'all, and that's why
he doesn't have the higher ceiling.
I think that's the belief in the room.
He has the highest floor.
It's definitely my opinion. I'm on the record. On the record, you get Chris Ford. You got Chris Ford.
Levis has the higher floor. Levis has the higher floor.
We're moving on to our wide receivers. So, DeAndre Hopkins, proven talent in the NFL, one of the most productive wide receivers in the last decade in the NFL. Ain't really not too much questions about DeAndre Hopkins. The only question that anyone should have about DeAndre Hopkins right now, D-Hop right now, is where are you? At what point are you in your career? You're a veteran wide receiver. Questions are going to be, has he lost a step? Is he still as explosive? Is he going to be as effective? He doesn't have to be, so explosive, but can he be a difference maker at number one? And of course, when you go to number two, Treylon Burks, who I've had issues with because I'm sorry, you just ain't shown me a damn thing. I don't care about flashes or what potentially, ain't shown me shit yet. Nothing. I need Treylon Burks to get on the field, play 16 fucking football, 17, excuse me. I didn't say 15, okay? So let's make sure we got our English straight. I didn't say 16 either. I said 17 motherfucking games. I want to see him play 17 games. I want to see him be productive. You get a productive D-Hop, a productive Treylon Burks, Dean, then maybe, finally, all those times we watched Tannehill come up short, because let's not put it all on Tannehill, because that boy been out there playing with nothing. He's been throwing to high school fucking wide receivers, man, sometime. Now he got a 1 and a 2, and if these two guys can stay healthy and produce, then if he ain't got that it factor, he should be ready for prime time.
It's been a long time. It seemed like the Titans wide receivers done had a vaccine for separation. Like we just couldn't be any or anything at any time, nowhere, at any point. So what I think now, and because I do think that Tannehill does have a pretty good morale and everything with Westbrook Akina too. And I think that he can actually try to do, come, and really make himself out to be a good third receiver.
But she got
But
cut.
you talking about being hurt, we need Cal Phillips to finally show his worth. Now,
You can't even tell the field.
in a perfect world, I don't want DeAndre Hopkins to come out here and have to get 1,300 yards. I like him to be around the 950 to 1,100 and just come up big when the moment requires that. Like if you really look at it, if we can get Kyle Phillips, Burks with DeAndre Hopkins and Westbrook Akine, we still got more who I think is just a little shifty. If we could put it together, Tannehill does have a smorgasbord to eat from now. It's a lot on the table that he can pick from. I know we're not even getting into tight ends at this point, but you even got that rookie West Coast that we got the capability to really spread it around the field and open it up. And with Henry in the backfield, we should be able to get them to come up enough that those boys can get the separation, and then we can make the moves we need to go downfield more often than we've been doing.
Kyle, who?
Kyle Phillips. We need him to show something. We paying him.
Kyle, who? Because
Actually, Ralph, I want to cut you off because you went on a whole fucking rant on Traylon Burks. You went on a whole fucking rant on Traylon Burks.
Yep.
At least he's been able to play fucking stats, play whole games. He's made it through a whole game in the NFL. He's made it through. He's not many. Kyle Phillips has not even made it. He hadn't even made it through a whole NFL game. He can't even make it past a snap.
Why you think I didn't bring him up? Why you think I didn't bring him up?
I know, but I'm saying that's the person you need to be harping on is Kyle Phillips.
Huh? Wait, what,
Traylon Burks.
Wait, what, Dean?
I only had a sentence about Kyle Phillips. Y'all ain't gonna jump my ass about Kyle Phillips.
No. I ain't bringing up no Kyle Phillips.
Kyle Phillips won't be back to week 6.
I just said it, get him healthy.
That's enough. That's enough for Kyle Phillips, okay? That's enough.
All right, yeah.
Hey, Zoe, before you bring it to me with the start wide receivers, after Westbrook Akine, can you help me out for a second here? Who the fuck is Chris Moore, Karis Jackson?
Hi, Chris Moore.
Who the fuck?
All right, so I can break down the whole wide receiver room for you if you want me to.
I would like you to. Yeah.
All right, so first of all, the question first and foremost was regarding DeAndre Hopkins. Can he be DeAndre Hopkins? The one thing about DeAndre Hopkins is, yes, he had some burst, but he's never been the fastest receiver. He's never been that a most explosive receiver. What he has is big ass mitts the size of goddamn catcher's gloves, and he can catch anything that's within his range, his catch radius, his catch radius, which is epically long, because not only does he have long arms, he has big hands. And then when you talk about his strength, like Coach Mack said, he has that wire tensile strength. Like that thin wire, those thin cables that they string big heavy stuff up with. That's what he got. Like his game doesn't depend on all the athleticism.
Shout out to the skinny.
Huh?
Shout out to the niggas.
Oh, okay. What they when you think about Jerry Rice, right? And I'm not trying to compare DeAndre Hopkins to Jerry Rice as being an all-time great wide receiver. But what I'm trying to say is Jerry Rice's game and his skill set did not depend on athleticism. When he got older in age, he had this craftiness about him that he could still wiggle and get open. And when you look at like DeAndre Hopkins is 30, 31 years old, right? He's played about 10 seasons in the NFL. When you look at Jerry Rice, after his 10th season, after he was like 32, 33 years old, he had 122 catches in 95. For 1848, he had 108 catches for 1254. Then he still, like when they thought he was washed up, he still went to Oakland and had 83 catches, 92 catches, 9 touchdowns, 7 touchdowns. Like DeAndre Hopkins is that type of talent. He's that type of wide receiver. So I think that he's going to be able to do, as long as he stays healthy, he's going to be able to do what we need him to do. And it's going to make the job easier for Traylon Burks, because coming into this season, we thought Traylon Burks had to be our number 1 wide receiver. Now he gets to be where he belongs right now at a number 2. That makes things easier on him. All right. So now you got Kyle Phillips that was supposed to be, and now is nevermore, quote, goddamn Raven on the bench, or my fault, in IR, ER, in the hospital, wherever he goes to get his treatment. After every time he walk on the field, it's like when they talk about Anthony Davis, Mr. Glass, they call him Mr. Glass. That's Kyle Phillips to me right now. So the next thing you go down, you talk about NWI and Chris Moore. To me, only reason NWI made this team to me is because Traylon Burks got dinged up early and Kyle Phillips got hurt and he couldn't stay healthy. And had Traylon Burks not had dinged up in that the Minnesota practice, and Kyle Phillips had shown that he can actually stay healthy, he can't even get to a fucking preseason game. Like, if he had showed he can actually stay healthy.
You keep talking about Kyle Phillips, man.
Yes, because he pisses me off. NWI would not be on the team. You know, like
I what he was gonna make the team regardless. Good,
but no, there was chances that if Phillips could have been where he needed to be healthy, and Chris Moore, he's a better version of NWI. He has more speed than NWI. He's more shifty than NWI. He might have better hands than NWI. Chris Moore is actually legitimate.
Not as big as NWI. He's not as big as NWI.
No, he's not. No, he's not. But he's actually a legitimate NFL wide receiver. If NWI is more than your fourth receiver, you got a problem. Luckily, we have Chris Moore, so he can still stay as 4th receiver. All right, now you go down the list. Kearis Jackson is only on the team because Kyle Phillips can't stay healthy. Because Kearis Jackson is the one who's going to return punts for us. He also showed some decent talent. He was good for Georgia last year. He can play a little bit of the slot. So NWI, his flexibility as well also makes him another person who can actually line up in the slot when they need to. D-Hop can also line up in the slot. Now you're talking about, now you go down to Colton Dow, and you go down to hold on, let's see. D-Hop, Burks. Let me pull out my sheet here, so I ain't gotta fucking try to.
I got you. What? Who you talking about?
All right. So we come Chris Moore. Chris Moore is a good receiver. He's a solid receiver. He can get open. He can catch the ball. He can make it play. Now, if he need to hold on to that ball, I don't need see no more shit like he saw in preseason with him dropping the ball and stuff. Not dropping the ball, fumbling the ball. He need to protect that ball a little bit more. But other than that, he was good for Houston last year. He was really good for Houston last year with a shitty quarterback situation. So I think Chris Moore was, to me, was supposed to be Chris Moore and Colton Dow was supposed to be to get the NWI off the team move for me, but it didn't work out that way because Burks got dinged up and then Kyle Phillips is made of glass. I guess I'm gonna keep talking about Kyle Phillips, little dusty ass.
Why he keep on? By the way, Larry Frank joins us. Hey, Larry, what's going on, Larry? Larry wants us to know that the Titans are going to be fine. By the way, Joe, why the hell you keep talking about some fucking Kyle Phillips? Can I why you keep on bringing his name up?
I said a sentence because he was hurt. Hopefully we can get him back. I said a sentence. He can't. Wait.
You know,
when's he coming back? When's he coming back?
Week 4, week 5, week 6. He's out there. He's out the first 4 weeks at least.
Can we talk about Kyle Phillips after he come back?
Okay. So, Kearis Jackson, he's gonna be returning kicks for us. Now the person I'm most happiest to see not have made this team, made Racy McTrash, Racy McFalls, Trashy McMath. whatever you want to call him, that dude had no heart. He catch the ball and go to the ground if he even catch the ball.
Oh, he
Man, I'm
was
so glad he's
Hold up,
gone.
wait. Stay there for a second. Hold up. Because I'm a man about heart, man. I'm about being hard, hitting, getting hit. Even like if it's a fight, you ain't got to worry about me. I'm throwing. I'm 60 years old and I'm broken down. I just had this young cat talk shit to me on the phone, and I asked him. I said, "Were you talking shit to me because you 20 and I'm 60?" He said, "Yeah. What you think you gonna do with me, old man?" Man, what I'm gonna do with you, man, I'm gonna be done with you before you even what this boy you talking about. Oh my God, man. I mean, it's like, how the hell did somebody give him an NFL uniform? Period. God almighty. This boy was so weak, man. It'd be like I could almost see him as a football's coming to him, like, no, don't throw it to me, don't throw it,
Please don't do it. Yeah, just.
Oh man.
So, all right. So I want to touch on one more thing with these before we move on to these receivers. Colton Dow. Colton Dow is the seventh round draft pick that we drafted out of UT Martin. Hey, Colton Dow
Made the team.
Unlike Racey McMath, actually played wide receiver in college. Racey McMath played wide receiver in college, but he was buried down the depth chart behind the likes of Mark Chase and
You talking about
Preston
Buddy
Jefferson.
like Trevor Lawrence?
Huh?
With the hair, Buddy look like Trevor Lawrence. Okay, I didn't even know who you were talking about. Go ahead. I forgot his name. My fault. Go ahead.
Trevor Lawrence.
I'm there. Yeah, he looked like Trevor Lawrence catching the ball.
You talking about last year?
No, this year. Who you talking about?
What's his name? Come down, yeah. He got a little hang time. Yeah, he got a little hang time. Yeah, he do. Yeah, he got a little hang time.
Friday Night Lights looking ass nigga. Yeah.
When you said Trevor, you said looking like Trevor Lawrence. First thing came up, I was like, Trevor Lawrence is a white guy. But anyway, that was first thing I was like, oh, you talking about the hang time like Trevor Lawrence? Oh, okay, right. Okay. Now I got it. But no, he had the highest athletic score of any receiver. He had one of the top 5 athletic scores or something like that, or highest athletic score of any receiver drafted in the NFL draft in the last 30 years.
I didn't know that.
Yes. And so when you talk about Racey McMath, they talk about, he has such athleticism, he can take the top off. But the problem is he was buried under the depth chart behind 3, 4, 5 receivers: Terrace Marshall, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. I think there's another one that he got buried. So he never really got real good playing time at LSU. Colton Dow, he got plenty of playing time. He made catches. He was able to use his athleticism. He had an opportunity to transfer out and go to a bigger school. He chose to honor his pledge to UT Martin. Try to put them on the map a little bit. Plus it was home, so he chose to stay there. So he actually knows how to play wide receiver. He actually understands that he got to learn at the NFL level, but he has the athletic ability. And we're talking about Racey McMath. He's nothing but a fucking special teamer. He doesn't know how to play wide receiver. He don't understand any part of the concept. So I think that's the reason we ended up with a seventh receiver, keeping a Colton Dow, because he has potential. He has potential to be a future real gem for us.
He was the best wide receiver. He was the best wide receiver in preseason. Given the fact DeAndre Hopkins didn't play, he was the best wide receiver in preseason. I give you that.
As some Titans fan, that was Mason Kinsey, but I digress.
All right.
That's fine. That's fine.
We go to running. we go to running back.
Running backs old.
Now, I'm just gonna say this real quick, okay? Is there even really a need for us? I don't have anything to say about Derrick Henry. I really don't. Because he done already said it. I think he's gonna come back. He's gonna be as healthy as he was 2 years ago. Last year, of course, he was coming off that injury, had to play himself back in. But I really don't have anything to say about Derrick Henry. But Cody, I'm gonna go to you first, man. Tajay motherfucking Spears, man. Yo, Hey, man.
You better, but before you even say that, Zoe, let me just ask you, why did you say Jackson will be returning the kicks and not Tajay Spears?
Because Garrett Jackson's been returning the kicks. He's been returning the punts in preseason behind Cal Phillips, and he's kind of proven that he can do it so far, I guess.
Okay.
He had a good
Okay.
return in the last preseason game, yeah.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Ralph. My fault.
He just wanted to know. He just wanted to know.
Yeah.
No. Yo, Dean, I'm talking about Tajay Spears, man. I was looking in the when I first seen him in the preseason, I'm like, okay, I said, hey, not bad. Ain't about that. Whoa, hold up, man. Yo, that boy played his ass off, man. And then when you turn around and you add Julius Chestnut, man, I love the way Chestnut was just, I love the way he was humping it. But
and that conflicting styles is what just make me love both of them. So because
right.
Chestnut is gonna give you that gritty, fight every yard, make every type of play that he can. I know, they've been talking about how good his blocking and everything has been, even on passing plays when he's in the backfield. But then Tajay Spears, just sometimes it looks like he's not even moving, and he done took 10 yards off the field. I'm talking about that move that he did, man, when he just skipped over a little, but it didn't even look like he made a move until you had to get, like looking from side to side. It didn't even look like he did anything. But then when they went, like facing, down on the end zone view, man, the boy done cut about 5 yards to the side. I'm talking he looked effortless.
I didn't catch it to the replay.
No,
He didn't even move. I'm talking about why his buddy slide. He took a horrible angle. No, he didn't. Tajay Spears with some skates, homie. I'm talking about, and both of those being able to just give Derrick Henry the option that he doesn't have to do it all. Keep him, let them boys get some carries. Keep him fresh for the fourth. After everybody else tired, and he can come in and just start eating and grinding. That's why I need Tannehill to be able to make those passes to the wide receiving core, just so we can keep the king on his throne until he got to get up and finish the fight. And if we can make that happen, man, we could build something. It's really all on Tannehill. But with those two backs, with Chestnut and Spears, if we could get both of them 5 touches apiece per game, I think we could get something special. That's why I wanted Tajay Spears doing the kick returns. I just want his hands on the ball as much as possible. I don't want to take it out of Henry, but I want the hands in Tajay Spears as much as possible. He just gritty. He gonna get hit. He gonna get hit.
Before Zoe goes, Garrett Jackson, he's listed as the #1 punt returner on the depth chart. But there's still a toss-up as far as Jackson, Spears, and Chestnut as a kick returner. And I agree with you. When it comes to a kick return, I would love to see Spears with the ball in his hands. But Zoe, I'm gonna go to the running game with you. Well, because he's too valuable. I got it, because he's too valuable in the run game, and we can't afford for him to get hurt. I get that. So I'm gonna go to you to run games, though. Of course, Tajay Spears and how he can spell Derrick Henry, because I want to feed off of something that Cody said. The NFL knows the one person, place, or thing you don't want to see coming downhill at you in the fourth quarter is Derrick Henry. You don't want none of that. And once your defense is worn down and he's coming at you, we know that's where he gets the bulk of his yards. That's where he makes his money. His bread and butter's in the fourth quarter. And I'm just wondering how Vrabel and the offensive coaches are going to utilize Spears and Chestnut to be able to spell Henry enough, still get him his carries, but spell him enough to let these guys get their touches, but more importantly, set up the king for the second half of the third quarter.
All right. So first and foremost, the one of the biggest off-season moves we made as an organization for the Tennessee Titans, the biggest, probably D-Hop is #1. Number 2 is easily firing Todd Drowning and sending his ass to the Jets to
Yeah.
deal with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, by the way, Aaron Rodgers already pissed off at Ty Downing and Nathaniel Hackett. Nathaniel, they trash. They got two Nathaniels running the offense over there. I'm so happy for them there in the Jets land. It's just what the Jets, it's a very Jets-like thing to do. It's hard to Nathaniels. Anyway, so bringing in Tim Kelly, and you can already see it in the preseason. The play calling itself, the ability to putting players on the move before the snap, getting out of being in 12 and 13 personnel all the time, getting more 3-wide sets out there, get some 2 running back. You talk about the running backs we got Derrick Henry, you have Tajay Spears. In this offense, there's chances you can see both of them out there on the field at the same time. And when you talk about the last couple of years, and I brought this up earlier briefly, the last couple of years, so under Arthur Smith, Derrick Henry averaged 5.1 yards per carry, followed that up with 5.4 yards per carry. In the 2 seasons under Todd Drowning, drunk ass, Mr. DUI, he averaged 4.3 yards per carry and 4.4 yards per carry. That's almost down. That's down like 70, 7/10 of a yard from what he was doing before. That's a lot when you talk about how many times Derrick Henry carries game. You know, any given Sunday, Al Pacino, you gotta scratch for that inch. It's all about a game of inches. And when you're taking that off the field, on a normal basis, you're hurting the offense. So Derrick Henry should have more production simply as a matter of the design of the offensive scheme, like better play calling. Don't run them on first down every time all game long, so everybody knows it's coming. But, like real simple shit. Then you look at Tajay Spears. Tajay Spears, to me, I see a young LT. That's what I see when I look at his movements. How he has his good vision.
That's a big much right. That was a big.
No, I said a young LT. I said his vision, his movements.
LaDainian Tomlinson for the Chargers.
Yes, LaDainian Tomlinson for the Chargers. He has that type of vision. His vision is wide. You can see it. He finds holes that you wouldn't not necessarily thought that was there. He has strong running power, but he can also juke you at the same time, much like LT. He can catch out the backfield, much like LT. He can run receiver routes damn near, much like LT. What I see is a potential young LT there. And then you look at Chestnut. Chestnut's he's a good serviceable back. He ain't got no top end speed, but he runs hard. He runs hard all the time. He's gotten better at his hands since last year. My question with him is mostly about what's his pass blocking gonna be like. I'm glad Derrick Henry got better at pass blocking.
They said he improved. I can't think of the article, but they said he improved in that.
With the pass blocking, okay,
Yeah.
good. That's where I'm at with the running back. I think Tim Kelly's play calling could help the running backs produce better, just simply by not being as fucking predictable. Like you had Cincinnati, like let's say the Bengals in that playoff game, they knew what Todd Downing was calling. They talking about it on the sideline before the play is even called. Like it's fucking ridiculous. Like
that's what I mean. That's what I mean. You just said it. It is going to be dependent on the play calling. Everybody in the league knows what they're getting. Every defense in the league knows what they're getting when 22 gets football. Plain and simple. Okay, it's how is Kelly going to mix it up?
yes.
How is he going to utilize what Spears brings? Because what I don't want to see in the first 4 or 5 games of the season is Derrick Henry getting 25, 27, 29 carry and Spears getting 3, 5, and 9. You're not going to get nowhere like that. You've got to find a balance because, again, even though the league knows it, it's like Greg Maddux. Everybody knew what Greg Maddux was throwing, but you still couldn't hit him for the Atlanta Braves when he was pitching. Same thing.
Ralph, I want Henry down to 20 touches. I like that.
Right.
Down to 20 touches, like 10 to start the game, first quarter and a half, and then the last quarter and a half. Like, you know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. You give him 20.
You feed them in the beginning and feed them at the end. Other than that,
And that's what I'm saying. You give him 20, 21, 22, maybe 23 touches a game, but you give him those last 13 touches late in the third and in the fourth.
I'm talking about the last two drives. Yeah, he done touched it 6 times.
That's when you tell Spears, and Chestnut, hey boys, yeah, y'all gonna stand right here beside me and watch what we paying you for.
Get a piece of paper. Take these notes.
Right.
If they can get Henry back to 5 yards of carry.
Right.
They can get back to 5 yards of carry.
Good point.
At 20 carries a game.
No,
Look at it, he's going to average 100 yards. We're talking about an easy 1,700, 1,800 yard season. Oh, he's washed up. He's done when he get rid of Derrick Henry, stupid ass motherfucker.
But now the one thing but we got to be able to do, and you talking about Kelly play calling, man. And I hope this is what DeAndre Hopkins brings to it. That's why, we need Burks. We need people to really step up. But this is what I hope DeAndre Hopkins brings. And that is we got to be able to attack outside the numbers, bro. If we can't attack outside the numbers to open up the middle of the field, the Titans for years now, man, we going to push it, drive it, force it down the middle of the field. And we ain't even gotten to the tight ends, but we have to be able to be a known threat outside of the numbers. And I know DeAndre Hopkins can be able to do it. And it won't take that many times. I'm not talking about, we just throwing it. We trying to turn the Rams back in 99. Well, I ain't talking about that, but I just mean outside of the number, have threats. That will open up the middle of the field. That will allow Tajay Spears to be able to get loose. That will allow our tight end. That will allow the slot. We need to be a threat on the outside.
And the other thing we need is the offensive line to block potential. That's the thing we need. We need an offensive line. Obviously, when Skoronski was drafted, he already knew, and everybody knew he was going to be a starter. But he gets the nod at left guard, not left tackle. So that kind of caught me by surprise as I watched the preseason go along.
Good.
Huh?
That's a downgrade.
Yeah,
What's a downgrade?
From right tackle to left guard is a downgrade.
Skoronski was supposed to be the tackle. The left tackle is the starting left tackle, but he's been made the left guard. And of course, Andre Dillard takes the left tackle spot. So I want to.
I don't think it actually went that way though. I don't think it actually went that way. We signed Dillard before we drafted Skoronski. We signed Dillard, and they didn't expect Skoronski to actually be there when he was. And so when Skoronski came up, they had to go and draft him. But they already paid Dillard to be left tackle, and Skoronski he could be a good left tackle in the NFL. I think he could. I think he has the athletic ability to do so, the feet to do so. But, they keep talking about his arms. They're not as long, and I kind of looked it up. His arms are not nearly as long as your average left tackle in the league. But I think he could have made it up for it and managed it. But I think his ceiling is higher at left guard than it is at left tackle.
All right, two more spots here. Tight end. Watching the Titans in the preseason, one of their offensive sets showed me Trevor Wesco and Okonkwo as starting tight ends right there. And now, me personally, I'm looking for Okonkwo to have a big year, man. I love the way this kid has come along little by little. And when we look at the Titans offense and we say, hey, we got a number one receiver, we got a number two receiver, we got a number one back, we got a number two back, we even got a number three back that we can utilize. So I'm liking what I see on the tight ends.
I think the tight ends, I think Chig is going to be, I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to he has potential to have a breakout year. You got to catch them fucking passes though. You can't, if it hits you in the hands, you talk about you trying to be that type of tight end, that pass catching tight end threat on offense, then you need to catch the ball when it hits you in the hands. I don't give a damn. Then Wesco, I think, I really don't know what to think about Wesco. I hadn't seen him on the field. He's been hurt a lot throughout training camp. I don't know enough about Wesco to even give. I know he's supposed to be a good run blocker. But Wesco, time will tell on Wesco. Now you look at our third tight end, Josh Wiley. I think he has potential to be a good catching tight end. But if you bring him in to be a catching tight end, when you get two hands on the ball, I don't care if it's high, you're 6'7", motherfucker, catch the ball.
You got to catch the ball.
Don't fool. There's a play that there's this guy on YouTube. His name is actually I can't remember his name. It's called the QB School, and he did a breakdown. He does a breakdown. He's been doing breakdowns of all the rookies and quarterbacks, and he's done breakdowns on Malik Willis. So there was an interception that Malik Willis threw to Josh Wiley. Josh Wiley was coming up. And he was came up and it was like a little in, but he was supposed to stop. When he throttled down to make his break, Malik Willis let go of the ball. He was supposed to stop in that spot when he made the cut, and he's supposed to stop right there. He kept on drifting. He drifted, and the ball went behind him, making it look like Malik Willis threw a bad ball. No, he drifted. He was supposed to stop. He fooled the quarterback. When he throttled down, that was Malik's cue as a quarterback, as it works with that type of route. When the receiver throttles down, that's when you have to let go of the ball before they come out of their break. Malik made the play, had the timing right, but when he throttled down and made the move, he didn't stop. He drifted like 2 extra steps and then tried to reach back for the ball. He tipped it, got intercepted. Like you can't make those type of you can't be a draft pick that we're talking about you being a potential pass catching great tight end, receiving tight end. You're making those mistakes. Though, like I understand you're a rookie, and you have time to grow, but you're on the team now. You need to grow faster. To your point with Malik last year, Dean, I understand he's a developmental project, but once you hit the field, you're an NFL player, you got to perform. And he owned up to that last year. If you had listened to Malik this year during offseason, he owned up to that. Josh Wiley tried to own up to the mistakes that, it was a high ball by Malik. Yes, it was a high ball by Malik, but you got to catch that ball. That ball hit you in the hands. And I need to see Josh Wiley, if you're gonna be a receiving tight end, then be a fucking receiving tight end, not a dropping tight end.
No, catch the ball.
All right. Chig, okay. All right, hold on, Rob. Let me
get it. Yeah, go ahead.
Chig having a breakout season, Conquest. Go ahead and having a breakout season. That's about the only thing I think I agree with that you just said right there. So with the tight end position, they've been talking about that Wesco is blocking like a 10-year vet. So if Wesco could come in and we can use Chig and really save him for all passing situations, I'm not worried about with the depth and everything that it looks like that they created on this team. I'm not worried about trying to make anybody or everybody a Pro Bowler. I'm worried about coming in collectively and putting people in the right spots. And Okonkwo doesn't have to be out there every play if Wesco can make himself
So
real.
Wesco's a starting tight end?
No, Chig is a starting tight end. Wesco needs to get reps. If he's blocking on a level much better, then yeah, he needs to probably do that beginning of the game, end of the game, same shit we were talking about with him. They need to utilize all tools.
Who was trash ass that we got rid of? Tight end. Who was trash ass tight end that we got rid of from last year? Supposed to be a good blocking tight end. They kept running out there.
Yeah. I knew. I can't think of his name.
Was it Stalker? No.
No. But I know who you're talking about.
But
whatever his name was,
doing just like you're doing Levis. Well, just because he hasn't actually played, the coaches have seen him on the field and know his potential and what he's capable of.
Okay.
So now,
what I need to see is, now we're going back to that. Oh, now we're talking about practice and how it carries over. Okay. Anyway, so
really,
Wesco.
well,
My question is, Can
It's whatever.
Wesco
Don't do me like that.
can Wesco run a route and catch a pass? Because
Sure.
if we know that Chig can block a little bit. We know that Chig can block a little bit. Is it great for pass and run blocker? No, but he can block a little bit. Can Wesco go out and catch a pass? If he can't go out on the route and catch a pass and be a threat in some form or fashion with that way, then he makes our offense predictable because every time you see him come on the field, oh, they must be running the ball.
They shouldn't have to. That's why he should not have to. Good. We should be able to throw with the. No, we got more weapons than out there than Wesco's out there. They should know. Yeah, more than likely it is not going to Wesco, but we should still be able to get it to Hopkins. Got Spears in motion. Right. We should be able to get somebody. I mean, Burke says, yeah. Who cares? But yeah, you better not. I bet you better not back up. Because if we run this thing right down your throat, Wesco gonna move you. You're gonna move your right end over here to the parking lot. Like when we do that.
All right. I like what I'm hearing. So we've. Oh yeah, one more thing, man. I noticed that. Was we having a hard time with the kicker? At the beginning of the preseason, man, it was like, oh Lord. And then all of a sudden, veteran Nick Folk comes in, he gets the job. I don't know.
The motherfucker still ain't happy.
Man, I don't get Hey, that's another one of them. Hey man, that's another one of them motherfuckers, man. I ain't even gonna really just try my best, man, not to fucking think about it. And then when it come up, I'm just gonna get up and go refill my drink, go get another sandwich, whatever the fuck. And then if I come back and he missed it, I'm just gonna be like, Braver, you better keep looking. I'm not even gonna think about it, man. I'm so scared with this kicker situation. It doesn't make any sense. Why can't Stonehouse just learn how to kick, man? He just needs to kick, punt, kick off. Fuck it. He can kick. Ain't nobody we gonna Nick Folk, man. Just Stonehouse. We pay you for both positions. Just think about that. You do both of them.
I'm far more comfortable with Nick Folk than I ever was with Fat Randy, Randy Bullock. I'm far more comfortable with him because at least I know that inside of 50 yards, the chances of Nick Folk missing are very slim. Most of the time, he has some miss extra points last year, but typically it's money on extra points. Inside of 50, he's
I'm not comfortable with any kicker. I'm a Titans fan. It's not a kick. Comfortable with any kicker.
Excuse me. So you're a Titans fan, you're not comfortable with any kicker.
No.
If you're a Titans fan, for as long as you've been a Titans fan, then you should be used to being comfortable with fucking kicker, not being uncomfortable. These last 4-5 years of Mike Vrabel's roller coaster kicker ride is uncommon in the state of Tennessee when it comes to the kicking. Del Greco, was it Del Greco, Netney, Sucker, Baronis was in there too. Like we've had
big games.
Huh?
Every name, yeah, they were consistent until them big games and cost us big games.
Del Greco cost us a big game.
You went back, you said Del Greco. You don't remember fucking Ray Lewis running back Del Greco fucking kick?
You know how long Del Greco was a kicker? That was the end of Del Greco's career.
What big kick did he make?
Man, we're getting deep here on them kickers, boy.
Big kick did he make? I'm a Titans fan. I don't trust kickers.
We ain't had one. We ain't had one we could trust in a while.
Hey, I'm a Titans fan.
In 4 years, yes. In 5 years, yes.
Hey, you act like you Lamar Jackson. This is not Baltimore, homie. We can't trust kickers.
But we went from Baronis to Sucker. We were money. For over a decade, money on field goals.
Hey, man, when it came down to it.
This is now.
I don't even know. And that was regular. Big game, big time. Baronis didn't miss big kick. All right. Go ahead, Rob. Go ahead, Ralph. That's fine.
And big
That's
kicks and Baronis make.
Don't trust kickers. I just want to leave it at that. I don't trust kickers.
You don't trust me.
Okay.
Titans fan.
All right. So we reached that point of the show. And
We get ready. Hold on. We can't. I know we way over time, but we can't have a preview show. We can't have a preview show for the Tennessee Titans football season and not give a prediction of how we think the season is going to finish. That stuff needs to be on the record, and this is our last opportunity unless we're going to do another show between now and the time for kickoff on Sunday.
I'm so glad I got my brother in my life because let me do what I let me do
Real impressive.
let me do what I was gonna do. I'll start again. So we reached that point in the show where I'll go around the horn here and we're gonna find out our predictions for the 2023 season for the Tennessee Titans. Yeah, bro, I know that's what was coming up. Remember, we covered the whole team. Now I got to fade us into the next segment so I can fade us out. But hey, I appreciate
Patience
you.
is not my strongest suit.
No, it's never been.
Yeah, the Canadian whiskey, man. You got to go out and get on this Jack Daniels, cuz. You know what I mean? That Drake whiskey ain't good for you, man. You got to go and stay southern.
Ralph, please continue.
Dean, give me an outlook on the 2023 season.
Main thing that I'm always worried about with the Titans is the playoffs. If I'm being perfectly honest, I can sit here complain about Tannehill. I can complain about play calling. But on a game-to-game basis, I think that we are or have the capability, the roster, and the talent to beat anybody. All we got to do is just put it together on any given Sunday. And with that being the case, I think we are going to retake the AFC South. And we are going to go 11-6. Probably not going to get the 1 seed with that.
No.
I can't make a prediction on the playoffs because of Tannehill. I got to see who we playing.
Definitely.
But 11-6 Tennessee Titans. And I'll tell you about, when we get to the gist of it, I'll tell you about, my prediction for you.
So, outlook 2023.
I'm actually surprised to see Dean go with 11-6. I'm actually more along the lines of 10-7, but 11-6 is not out of the realm of possibility at all. I believe that first and foremost, our defense will be, the Tennessee Titans defense will be elite. I'm calling it right now.
I said it. I already did it.
The Tennessee Titans defense will be top 5 defense in football, either from a scoring or from a yard standpoint or from a turnover standpoint, maybe all the fucking categories. I think our defense has a chance to be super elite, Super Bowl caliber worthy defense. Question is, can the offense hold up the end of the bargain? Now, I think that 10-7, 11-6, anything better than that is going to require the combination of DeAndre Hopkins and Treylon Burks and Derrick Henry and Tannehill and Chig and this offense becoming what we thought and hoped that A.J. Brown and Julio Jones could have been when they was added to this offense. If we want to go be anything beyond first round of the playoffs, anything beyond winning the division, anything beyond 10-7, 11-6, we're going to need to have that core group stay healthy for most of the season and then perform at our offense needs to be at least average, maybe top in that 10 to 15 range of offenses. Otherwise, we're exiting first round again like we normally do, and then we'll see how things play out the following season.
All right. On my outlook, I do like 11-6, 10-7, 11-6. Now, that's also going to depend on what Tim Kelly can do with his play calling, because when you look, and again, we all agree about the Titans defense, that it's going to be an elite defense in the NFL this year. But if you take this offense and you get a play caller that knows how to mix it up, we can't see the same predictable shit that we've seen throughout the years. Now, of course, a lot of that predictable shit was dependent on the fact that Derrick Henry had no choice but to carry the load. When you have no receivers whatsoever, thank God he's gone, right? When you have
he hate drowning. He hate drowning. Excuse me, Todd, former offensive coordinator. He ain't said his name right yet. I'm sorry. Look at this.
When you have a play caller that can mix it up, now of course you're going to need everybody to be, I'm not going to say healthy, I'm going to use the term relatively healthy. Nobody ever stays healthy for an entire football season, but you're going to have to be relatively healthy, and you're going to have to get the production from D-Hop and Henry that you expect. Traylon Burks is going to have to come through as a number 2 this year. If Tajay Spears can give us 17 games of what he gave us in the preseason, then Ryan Tannehill, as I've stated, doesn't have an excuse. I can see the Titans maybe even squeezing out a 12th win out of this, depending again on the play calling. So the biggest thing that I want to take from the season, and we've talked about it, is Ryan Tannehill. Yeah, and that's what I'm going to save for my final thought. So I'll go to Zoe now and say, Zoe, final thoughts.
I'm scared to take your final thought. I think we'll end up taking your final thought. But you said it right there. All excuses for Ryan Tannehill are gone. We can't make any more excuses for him. Fortunately, it's not really a big deal. It is a big deal for this season, but even if he doesn't, if he doesn't perform, he's gone. If he performs, unless he performs to a level that gets us into the Super Bowl or win some big games, win some big playoff games, he's not coming back. So I think that we got to start fast. I think we need to find a way to come out of those first 6 games with a 500 record, or this season could potentially take a downturn in the second half. If we come out 1-5, first 6 games, it could be a rough go, and we could start looking going into rebuild mode. So that's my final thoughts. They got to come out and win more than they're expected to win early.
Dude, if we start out 1-5,
we get 1-5.
We're gonna have a horrible year on this show. Forget the team.
Oh my God, no, we won't. We start out 1-5. We're gonna be calling for niggas' jobs, nigga. Week 4. What? Fuck you mean?
Like we arguably have the team in our first 6 games. In our first 6 games, we play Derek Carr, arguably better than Tannehill. Arguably. Maybe 50-50. Justin Herbert, definitely better than Tannehill. Deshaun Watson, and most of the time, I would say he's better than Tannehill. We got Joe Burrow in week 4, definitely better than Tannehill. Got better with then we get the what's the owner for the Indianapolis Colts?
I be talking real spiel, cuz
we get the Indianapolis Earthsaids, and they trash, and that's the absolute victory. And then what we go to? We go back to dealing with Lamar Jackson, who has Odell Beckham to throw to. So like those first 6 games are crucial for us. There's potential for us to go 1-5 in those first 6 games.
We go 1-5.
2-4.
Game. I'm calling for Zoe's job.
My job. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, I'm calling for your job.
Praise
Okay. Cody, on your final thoughts, my brother, why don't you go ahead, cuz, and give me the gist of it.
All right, man. So yeah, when we say the we all Titan fans and everything. So to be honest, you're not really gonna see me come up in here, even if I'm a roast, we're gonna talk. Like I said, we won 1-5 or whatever the hell Zoe just said. I'm not gonna come in here and still not pick the Titans the next week. I don't care if we pulling people out the practice squad, we gonna run up. So we gonna give you the gist of it. And the gist of it is we're going to tell you about the team and how the Titans need to make sure that they stay together and beat this team this week. So here we go. We're going to start with the motherfucking New Orleans Saints. Now, first of all, have y'all seen New Orleans Saints coach Dennis Allen? I'm talking about if you look at this dude, man, it's like somebody you done seen in the middle of the mall trying to sell you a massage chair. He looks younger than fucking Derek Carr. And you know, Derek Carr been going bald since he was fucking 25. And now all of a sudden now he can't come in here, Tennessee, with his dad bod and looking like he just goddamn had twins last week that he had. We can't do that. Now, we do got to worry about Juwan Johnson. That is that tight end. He came out last year, had about over 800 yards and everything like that. But they still decided that they need to pick up Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham is 47 years old. There's no way that we are going to sit over here and let any type of this offense that finished with negative 15 net points last year against all competition. They were 7-10, 2-4 in their division. We are not going to allow them to come Tennessee. We're talking to the defense right now. You talking about Al Kamara, Lil Uzi Vert looking ass nigga, is not even playing. He done got suspended because they didn't caught him with drugs. Now they over here got Taysom Hill was their second leading rusher last year. He gone. So he ain't even playing. Only thing we got to worry about is that motherfucker Chris Olave. He was a rookie last year from Ohio State. He had 72 catches, over 1,000 yards. We got to worry about him. He can't break out with us, Tennessee. He can't come out here and break out with us. I don't give a fuck what he doing. He can't come out here and have a breakout game with us. Let him do that shit in that sorry-ass division they in. Now, Michael Thomas has had 10 catches in 2 years. He can't do nothing. We can't give him anything. I don't care. This nigga talking about Chris Fulton. Fulton. Oh, nigga. All right, so yeah, Zoden already put a stamp on you. So now we talking about Tyrann Mathieu. He is 48 years old. We can't let him come up in here and then do anything to our offense. We can't let him disrupt. I know he's going to be fresh, but we are talking about him and Cameron Jordan have been playing football since the Bush administration. No, we're not going to have that shit. So everybody, we just need to chill out. Everybody's going to get things together. They were 14. Derek Carr last year was 14th in passing yards. He was tied for third with 15 picks. Excuse me, 14. 15 was the lead, Dak Prescott. You know what they call Dak Prescott right now, Zoe? Trash. So we need to make sure they don't come out here and act like that they're finna ball out on us. Tennessee Titans. Defense. Kevin Byard, Amani Hooker, Jeffrey Simmons. It's on you this game. Offense gonna have to catch up. I'm giving you the gist of it. Get your shit together. Let's go.
All right, I'll finish up my final thoughts in 2 pieces. Number one, of course, is Ryan Tannehill. A lot has been put on Tannehill. A lot of sometimes unfair pressure from the fans. A lot of heat that he's had to take, but understand that he's had so much put on him by not having enough weapons on offense. He now has the weapons. Now those weapons have to stay healthy for him, and they have to produce. If they can, and if they do, as Zoe said, no more excuses from Ryan Tannehill. Either way, this is it for Ryan Tannehill. His tenure as the Tennessee Titans quarterback, I believe, will end at the end of this season. regardless of where it ends. I don't even think a Super Bowl is going to keep Ryan Tannehill in Tennessee. But then again, I don't know, even as Titan fans, I don't know if any of us believe we're going to get a Super Bowl. And I'm really curious to see, as we've stated a couple of times here, how elite this defense is going to be. Because I like the way Cody was saying there, the offense is going to have to catch up. The offense has got to work its way in. You got Tannehill, you got Derrick Henry, but now you've got Burks and D-Hop. You got to work everybody in, and Kelly's got to start working this offense, getting the play calling. People got to get used to this stuff. But the defense is set to make an impact this season. So that's what I'm looking for. So that's our show here this evening. It is the premiere of Everything Titans, the Tennessee Titans podcast, the NGSC Sports Weekly Tennessee Titans football show. Please join us next Monday night as we recap week 1 against the New Orleans Saints. Of course, remember the website. It is ngscsports.com, where you catch all of your current content. Next week, Cousin Antoine is going to join us. He was under the weather this week. Almost made me want to give him another damn concussion, but we're gonna say that for another day. How you gonna miss the opener? But we do appreciate you folks. I'll be back tomorrow with John Doucette, Alejandro Vargas, and Louis Tenor as we bring you the NGSC Sports Weekly baseball show in the batter's box. And then I'll be back again on Thursday with Attack on the Politicos, the NGSC Sports Weekly political show. Yes, a political show on the sports network. Zoe, you got something to finish up with?
Yeah, I just wanted to drop my Twitter out there. Y'all can follow me at Zoe Bradford _65. That's my Twitter. I tend to talk a lot of shit about other things besides Titans, but mostly we just focus on the Titans because we're all about everything Titans. So come check me out. I'll give updates on the show. We'll probably I'll probably get some different little tidbits of information or thoughts out there that I may not have gotten across out here on this what's the name? So come follow me.
Of course, follow us on Facebook at NGSC Sports. Follow us on X at NGSC Sports.
My bad. X.
Y'all can leave my personal X page the fuck alone. I don't deal with none of that shit on my page. But we do appreciate y'all joining us. We'll be back next week. And as I say on every show, peace. We out.